Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Bună ziua, Romania. Marhaba, Turkey. Welcome, indeed, a big welcome to all of you for our Seedcare-Digicare webinar, which today, May 11th, will be dedicated to stewardship in agriculture. First of all, few rules for the webinar. Your microphone should be turned off, as well as your video. You have full freedom to ask questions in writing by using the small button at the right-hand side of your screen. We will do everything we can to answer all of your questions toward the end of the webinar. In any case, as all questions go to the panelists, me, Bruno, Erdem, Ergin, together we will have the possibility to answer all of your questions in writing. First of all, few words about myself. My name is Julien Fourmont. I'm working for the commercial organization at Syngenta-Digicare as key account lead for Europe, Africa, and Middle East. And I will be your moderator today. Why are we here? I mean, we have all lived through the coronavirus crisis over the last 2 months. However, I think most important is that we are all safe wherever we are and that we continue to stay connected to go through our solutions and to make sure that we, wherever we are, Syngenta, stay close to you, farmers, customers across the globe. Today, as I said, we will be talking about stewardship. Stewardship mainly dedicated to the Force 20CS portfolio. As you know, we have product, application, and services as the 3 pillars of our Seedcare strategy. And today, I think with the example of Force 20CS and related brands, Attack, Force Magna, Force plus Fortenza, when it comes to an offer which is on corn, Forsea, and many other solutions, you will learn through this webinar how is important stewardship and safety in everything we do. With me today, 3 experts, the experts. Bruno Sornin is a global lead for stewardship at Syngenta, based in Basel. Erdem Ergin, in charge of the Seedcare business in Turkey, as well as Silviu Kaimak, head of Seedcare for the Romania business. Before going through a short introduction about what is Force 20CS, maybe a bit of history. As you know, Force 20CS has been growing rapidly across various crops and geographies. It is now becoming a standard in sugar beets, in corn. It is more and more used also on crops like sunflower and cereals. In combination to other products, you will also observe how successful the combination of Fortenza plus Force can be an attractive offer for corn growers in a market like Turkey. But as I said, let's go through a quick video about Force 20CS. As said, Force 20CS is a unique solution which is now protecting a number of crops across Europe, Africa, and Middle East. It has very good protection, insecticide protection against soil pests, mainly through its vapor effect. So now back to our topic of today, stewardship. What are the key steps of stewardships? 5 steps in total, which we will go through today. Site audit, which is the first one, making sure we have covered proper auditing through industrial or farmer sites. A recipe validation process, which is an important second step in the process of stewardship. Training, informing everyone along the chain, making sure that everyone feels equipped to handle the use of such solutions. Of course, the use of personal protective equipment to make sure that our solutions are applied and used safely along the chain. And finally, closing the loop, helpline, review process, learning in order to improve and move on to the next season. Let's get started with site audit. Maybe with you, Bruno. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Bruno Sorma, working in the Seedcare Institute as a global lead for stewardship. Normally, I'm based in Basel, but today working from home, like most of you. At Syngenta, we place stewardship central to everything we do. This is part of our code of conduct and our commitments to good growth plan. Today, we will share with you how we live stewardship. In the case of Force, it's crucial that all steps are followed. For that, we pay a lot of attention to the first-time use of this product. We focus on new customers, new sites, new countries, new farmers, for all to get a first experience right. So with industrial customers, we inform them by signing a stewardship agreement. So they know all these 5 steps ahead of the game. So the first step is to audit their seed treatment sites. The aim here is to ensure that all workers are safe. So based on many years of site visits, we follow a very clear auditing process in the factory. Normally, as chemists, we would focus on places where the product is the most concentrated. But we learned that workers are more exposed in places where dust is produced. The critical part is the bagging. And there is always another place which requires specific attention. It's the laboratory. Lab workers may think that handling smaller quantities lead to smaller exposure, but they tend to be careless and to use less protection. And that's where, in the end, we have to educate them for them to do the right things when they handle these small quantities of seeds. Most of our action is on checking that the correct aspiration is at these places where you have this dust generation, like sample splitting in the lab, at bagging, when you do the maintenance and cleaning, don't expose yourself. That's where we have to focus our attention.
Thanks a lot, Bruno. I think this map is quite insightful indeed. I mean, you see from inside a factory, some places where actually stewardship and safety is extremely important. It would not necessarily come top of mind that the managing of returns or treated seeds, debagging, as well as lab work would be so much important when ensuring safety of workers in a seed factory. Erdem, you have great experience from Turkey, right? Can you give us a few examples on the way you have managed it in Turkey?
Thank you, Julia. Hello, everyone. I am Erdem, Seedcare Business Manager in Turkey. Very good introduction and opening speech. Thanks to you and Bruno again. So I would like to share my experiences from the recent campaign. Because of the 20CS Force launch, we had to check several sites and made several audits. And thanks to Seedcare Institute colleagues, they had several visits to Turkey. We choose the key sites, and those sites represents 1 million units of corn treatment at the end of the campaign. And this is a very significant number, as it is the 60% of total corn consumption from the last campaign. During this process, we check each step, especially aspiration capacity, bagging lines, where exposure is a risk. We are also checking application units where the seed and seed treatment products mixed. And at the end, laboratories where the samples handled is also a potential place that risk can occur, and we do our best to remove these risks at the end.
Thanks a lot, Erdem. I think here a very good illustration of what stewardship and site auditing looks like in an industrial seed treatment location. I believe the example of cereals can be quite different when the same wants to be implemented on such a crop like cereal. Right, Silviu? Over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Silviu Caimac. I'm a Seedcare business manager for Romania and the Republic of Moldova. So yes, on site auditing, we have two experiences with Force 20CS. We have this biggest seed companies in the world producing and treating here in Romania. They were audited and visited by our Seedcare Institute from Stein, from Switzerland. And I think part of our industrial treater customers, they are also looking on this webinar. And the second part is the cereals seed treatment. And it's a different story because the main word is adaptation. Adaptation to local conditions, because in Romania, last year was launched Austral Plus. Austral Plus is an insecto-fungicide for cereal seed treatment based on the tefrutin and fludeoxonil as a fungicide. On the first year of sales in Romania, this product became market leader and also very appreciated by many farmers. Here, important thing is also the results, the sales and the promotion, but also how they treat in farms. So many farm conditions, and you look at the picture there, you see different size of farmers, many types of farmers, different machineries, and we have to adapt. So they're going to the farm level, and here it was a joint effort in cereal campaign for Austral Plus in Romania. So sales team, marketing, technical, all organization in Romania, but also support from Seedcare Institute and external employees, dedicated team of 3 people for 4 months doing only this safety measure implementation into the farms. And we emphasize a lot for this campaign that, okay, our safety measure for tefrutin, but important thing that these measures were promoted as general good agricultural practices for farm seed care treatment. That's it for Romania site auditing in 2019.
Thanks a lot, Silviu. Quite interesting indeed. I mean, now you have one full season of experience on cereals. And yeah, I think it's really insightful to see how you have, with the team, manage Austral Plus on cereals in Romania. We have closed here, I think, the first step of site auditing. We will see now with Bruno how much we can do by improving the recipe of seed care so that we make it safer, better, and efficacious. Bruno.
Thank you, Julien. So this second step seems obvious. As the Seedcare Institute, we always work with our customers to fine-tune their recipe. We have normal quality checks, which includes product loading on seeds, visual appearance, dust off, and plantability tests. But in the case of Force, we gain a lot of experience from customer feedback related to some annoyance linked to subjective facial sensation. This is a kind of burning, tingling feeling that occurs mainly on the face and lasts few hours, up to 24 hours. And it appeared that when we worked correctly on the recipe, that there is one key quality criteria that it is directly associated with the number of calls on the helpline. If our active ingredient in dust is below a certain threshold, there is no more call on the helpline. That's the way we discovered it. And now we always validate this threshold with all of our customers. We always collect sample for the end to be able to diagnose if we are still correct. This is good with industrial sites, but when it's related to cereals, it took us quite a while, but this product, Austral Plus, has been registered for 20 years. And in the last 7 years, we found the exact perfect additive to have this threshold matched. So when we use AG40R compared to the initial adjuvant we were using, we could see that there is a drastic reduction in the active ingredient in dust. And with this one, we are very pleased that farmers are comfortable when using and handling these cereals treated seeds. This is our most valuable secret when we speak about forest stewardship. This is the key one.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you. And here, I mean, a very good example from the cereals. The same, of course, applies to the many other crops which are using Force 20CS or related brands, making sure that the recipe is an optimized recipe for your customer needs, for farmer safety, operator safety. Maybe Erdem, you want to share with us a few words about a next important step, which is the third one, making sure that everyone is equipped, everyone is trained, everyone is properly informed about the way to manage and handle such a solutions and product. Erdem.
Thank you. Thanks, Julia. As mentioned, during site audits, seed plant employees were trained, but this is not enough, we know. And in order to reach to farmers, we decided to train all the seed company employees who are the field force, sales or technical, and also their distributors, key distributors, to carry this information to farmers. And we organized a Train the Trainer campaign. We certified 327 persons who will carry this information to farmers. As an estimation of 15,000 farmers were met face-to-face. Also, the information for seed distribution helped a lot to reach directly to farmers. In this process, we also distributed personal protection equipments, which reached to a number of 12,000. But total number of farmers, considering the average farm size and number of units seeds consumed, is around 70,000. It is not easy to reach all of them face-to-face, we know it. So we were looking for creative ways to reach more people. One of them was TV advertisements. For example, one popular farmers TV, we placed an advertisement in order to remind about stewardship measures, to communicate our hotline, which works day and night for the questions can be coming from farmers, but also as a proactive approach, call center is reaching to farmers. Besides that, using TV, we had social media. Social media is also very efficient to reach Turkish farmers as it is very popular among Turkish farmers. And let's have a look to the advertisement that was shown on TV and also on social media. And I will try to remind one more time the points that we try to emphasize. First of all, we reminded that seed pack labels should be read well by farmers, so if they forget any stewardship rules, they can see it there. Also the pests, farmers, they know them very well, but we wanted to remind one more time, which can be a nightmare during germination and early stage of the plants. Also the industrial treatment, why it is important and why we shouldn't touch seeds with naked hands. As you can see, we also reminded farmers to use proper personal protection equipments, and this will minimize the risks that they can face during sowing period. One of them is not to breathe of the seeds dust when they are putting in the drilling machine. So those were the Turkish examples that I experienced. Now I would like to also hand over to Silviu for Romanian approach. Thank you.
Thank you, Erdem. Yes, for Romania, we launched last year the product, but also Bulgaria had a lot of actions. And this year, Serbia and Republic of Moldova, they will start with implementing stewardship actions for Austral Plus in Seedcare in cereals. So for this part, the training, we had this specialized team of 3 people for 4 months. They did, as an audit part, 1,700 calls to our farmers before to make a pre-assessment, let's say like this. And during the campaign, more than 250 farm visits they were made, also for auditing, but also for training. So they were farmers, they were trained for this seed treatment, good agricultural practices. Also the distribution team, so the sales team of our distributors, with the help of our technical team, sales and marketing, we've been around the country, more than 10 meetings, around 200 people, sales team, they were trained, like in Turkey, trained a trainer. And this was for all the country. To reach, because also in Romania, there are a lot of thousands or hundreds of thousands of farmers, but to reach the medium, the big farmers, around 18,000 farms, we pushed a lot and promoted through mass marketing communication, let's say like this, mass media. It was an online campaign. It was on TV, social media for sure, on Facebook, on our field meetings. A lot of this training for our farmers, how to treat also in safety for operators, for environment is very important. But also we had a campaign of personal protective equipment. And here on this next slide, you will see that we delivered with our field force and also this specialized team, more than 1,500 personal protective equipment. And here, besides giving during the audit, we had something special that on the label of the canister with Austral Plus, the farmers, they had the QR code. They could scan this QR code and have like a short audit and a short training for using in safety the seed treatment. So with this short training, they will register to the promotional campaign, because we had also a promotional campaign, but also they receive for free this personal protective equipment. So more than 1,500 delivered last year. So also for this year, we have an ambitious plan and also promotional campaign. We did a movie, which is available on YouTube. You can access it, and with images with the correct measure for treating in farm for cereals with Austral Plus. Again, we emphasize it is a special product, is unique, and these measures should be as normal measures for treating in farm for seed treatment. That was the experience with training and plant protection equipment, personal protective equipment in Romania.
Thanks a lot, Silviu. Thanks a lot. What you are describing here, indeed, I mean, shows how important also for us is to make sure that our products, our solutions are used safely. This is part of our good growth plan. Not only we want to make sure that farmers, distribution, seed companies have access to our solutions across the globe, but even most important is to make sure that through proper training, work, services, we can make sure that everything is done following the proper guidelines and everyone is using our solutions with a very high level of safety. At the end of the day, what we are trying here to promote to a large extent is already consistent with some of the European guidance on personal protection equipment. Right, Bruno? Let's continue with the step 4 and let's describe a bit more what we are talking about when we talk about providing personal protective equipment to the users of our solutions.
Yes, thank you, Julien. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think almost 10 years ago, the seed industry, as an association, looked back at how to promote best handling practice for treated seeds. They figured that farmers were not diligent enough when they were handling treated seeds, and they thought about what could be a good labeling policy that the whole seed industry will follow to have some good practice adopted by farmers. So they decided to have something very crisp, like pictograms, which describes very well what has to be followed. Of course, there is the central one here in the middle, central. You have a mask and you have gloves. That's normal. That's what it's always recommended when you handle any treated seeds. You have to prevent from exposure of any chemicals. And because it's never obvious that you have not to mix up treated seeds with food or feed additives or feed, it's always better to remind it. As you handle something contaminated with chemicals, you have to wash your hands. Sounds familiar with COVID now. You have to also avoid to have seeds contaminating any water sources. There is this tractor with a kind of pipe with a small cloud, which is a kind of summary of be careful with the dust and not to push it everywhere. It's more about dust management. And of course, the last one, seeds, treated seeds, have to be kept in a secured place away from kids or cattle. And all this, as you can see, is well depicted at the bottom of our labels that are on each treated seed bag. We feel it was the best way to convey this message to the farmers. This initiative has been there for, yes, almost 10 years now. And it's always good to remind with any of our actions, this is seed industry call. We have to align on this. And now it's adopted at EU level. Even if the EU guidance document is not yet fully approved, at least this part was greatly appreciated by regulators as an industry initiative.
Thank you, Bruno. So I think here now we have covered the 4 important steps, starting with site auditing, proper recipe validation process, ensuring that we train, that we communicate, that we train the trainers, as you all rightly said, and also that we provide the right level of equipment to users, farmers, adopting our solutions across crops and geographies. Of course, to close the loop properly, there is a fifth and important step, which is about review process, helpline, so that we can all learn from the ongoing season, take the learnings, discuss, adjust some of these steps which are required to bring stewardship to the next level, and then start a new campaign, start a new year, touch new farmers, new users, new crops potentially, and improve further and further on what stewardship should all be about. Indeed, I think we have closed the most important steps of stewardship: site auditing, recipe validation, training, the use of PPE, and the importance of having the proper communication tools in place in order to be in a position to touch as many farmers, as many users and operators as possible. And finally, have a review helpline process in place in order to close the loop, improve, and start a new season. Slowly, I think we are coming towards the end of our webinar. A bit more than 30 minutes have passed, and I think we have some time for questions for the next 10 minutes or so. I will start by a first question I just received, which is about some more facts and figures. Maybe for both of you, Erdem and Silviu, maybe starting with Erdem. Can you share a bit more on the way you have managed to touch as many farmers and companies on the importance of stewardship? How did you proceed, Erdem?
Thank you, Julien. Once again, I want to start from the Train the Trainer campaign. We organized 30 different meetings to train 327 certified messengers who will carry our information to farmers. And as an estimation, they were able to reach 15,000 farmers. Besides that, during the sowing period, each region, we start to send SMSs for informing farmers. So far, 40,000 SMS were sent, and we still continue sending SMSs. Our YouTube video so far shown 35,000 views. And TV show, as an estimation, will reach close to 50,000 people at the end of sowing period. These are the facts and figures I can briefly share with you, but if you have more questions, please reach out to me and I can answer more. Thank you.
Maybe Silviu, the same for Romania?
Yes, Julian, thank you. So as a particularity, we had this specialized team. So for 4 months, 3 people fully dedicated for Austral Plus stewardship measures in cereal seed treatment. So before visiting the farms, they made 1,700 calls to the farmer, taking information as a pre-audit. And then in the campaign, 250 visits to farms was with challenges because farmers, they are busy with harvesting, but still we see an increased interest for this protection of operators, of workers, of the environment. So in our region, this is a particularity that more and more farmers will grow and will implement these good practices for the seed care. So these were main action, and also this 200 trainer, people were trained during 10 meetings for spreading the message, and with the mass marketing actions, we are estimating internally that around 5,000 farmers, they were reached through all communication, prints, field visits, field meetings, and also TV and social media.
Thank you, Silviu. Thank you, Erdem. I will take a second question, which maybe I can answer. It's related to probably the future, if I understand it correctly. We have less and less insecticides available in Europe as a seed treatment. What can you share with us about the sustainability of Force 20CS? So I think that's a good question. I mean, as a short and straight answer, I think we do everything we can. I mean, as a company, but often also with the support of stakeholders to have solutions like Force 20CS stay on the market. Also, it's important to notice that stewardship, of course, and regulatory is an important step into making sure that everything we do is done towards improving the current formulations and type of solutions which are applied. In our projections, we do not see Force 20CS as being, let's say, at major risk. There is a next milestone, which is in the year 2024, 2025, which will be important for us to take as an occasion to further improve potentially the way this product is displayed and applied onto seeds to make it even safer and performing as it is today. This answers the question. I have a third one, which is related to Turkey, I guess. So then for you, Erdem, we learned a bit about Austral Plus efficacy. Can you share now about the combined effect of Fortenza plus Force for corn growers in Turkey? So I guess it's more efficacy than stewardship. Please, Erdem.
Okay, thank you very much. Indeed, wireworm has been for the long period of time a main pest that farmer trying to manage by seed treatment. But cutworm has less history compared to wireworm. And that's why wireworm control treatment was a basic, and cutworm control, which is we launched a few years ago with Fortenza, was an optional. In the meantime, the growing interest from farmer to have a standard solution instead of optional one, making Force Fortenza is the new complete solution, both for wireworm and cutworm in cornfields. This is also easier for seed companies, as sometimes they already have a treated inventory, whereas farmers' expectation can be different, or vice versa. So seed companies decided to have one combined treatment as a unique solution for main pests for each region in Turkey, and this is working very well. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, Erdem. I'll take a fourth question, which here I believe is more related to environment, although we covered it a bit. So I will bring that one to you, Bruno. So we heard a lot through this presentation about site auditing, communication, training, PPE. What about environment, Bruno?
I like the question, thank you. Some regulators have made a kind of parallel assessment to the one we are doing, which is about safety for the operators, for the workers, for the farmers. They have used this active ingredient in the dust to make an evaluation of the risk for the environment. So they are ahead of the game, but they stressed, I think 3 years ago, we had to check that all seeds on the market are below a certain level of active ingredient in the dust to make sure that there was no issue for the environment. After the market survey was completed, we could confirm that we were way below that threshold level, which was a good illustration of the safety for the environment. So I guess that by working on the same way as we are doing, in parallel for primary target, which is human beings, is also beneficial for the environment. I hope I answered your question.
I hope so. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Bruno. Maybe we have time for a last one, which was maybe answered already partially. How can customers get in touch with the Seedcare team to get support locally? So maybe I start with that one, and then Erdem, Silvio, you can build on it. I think first of all, I mean, we have a team of Seedcare and Syngenta colleagues across business units, commercial colleagues, as well as Seedcare Institute colleagues, which are here to support you. If you do not know all of them for some of your markets, be it Romania, be it Turkey, be it Serbia, be it France, and the like, please reach out to us also, and we will be very happy to guide you in order to make sure that you get the support you require. Maybe Erdem, also here, maybe for the Turkish example, maybe you want to reinforce tools you've been using to touch and to get in touch with all customers along the chain.
Okay, thank you, Julian. Again, as mentioned, we have a call center dedicated to this project, but also for reaching out to farmers, 4 dedicated consultants. They are in the field and proactively visiting the farms for potential questions. And beyond that, we have an auto-reply system in our website. If you type the keywords, then I will automatically receive an email. And also, you can always email to us through our website. So I think we will never miss if somebody has additional question or a suggestion to us. Please reach out to us and share your comments or questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Erdem. I think with this, we arrive towards the end of the webinar. We have received quite some more questions. Again, we have all of them, and together with Bruno, with Erdem, with Silvio, we will be answering back to you all of your questions. And please feel free to stay in contact. We are here to support you. Now, this is the end of our webinar dedicated today on stewardship in agriculture. I wish all of you, personally, families, to stay healthy, safe during this difficult period. I wish you all a very nice cropping season, nice yields, nice harvest, probably a bit of rain as well would be good to take. And wish you again a very nice afternoon. Thanks for having joined us today.